Alex has been involved in the creation of numerous startups, and he's involved with the business divisions of large companies. He's currently working with embassies and other government entities of over 20 countries to support innovation initiatives. And with Edge of Innovation, he's actively working on building bridges between Japanese and other countries' innovation ecosystems. The title of the talk today is The Power of Community. It will be more interactive as well. And Alex will be talking about why entrepreneurs should spend the time to connect with other people and why it's important to be involved in different communities and why we need to think globally from the beginning of our project. And if you don't mind, if your background is okay, if you don't mind to maybe put the virtual background up, if you could please turn your cameras on. Yeah, so thank you so much. I'll give it over to you, Alex.
Thank you for the introduction, Jade. Nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Alex Odajima. I'm based in Tokyo. I will talk about the importance to be part of a community as an entrepreneur. Before going into the explanation of it, let me make a very brief introduction of myself and what EDGEof is about, because probably no one has ever heard of it. So let me share the screen. Here we go. All right, hope everyone can see it. Jade, can you see it? Okay, great. So I've been working as a business incubation consultant for about 15 years-ish, helping startups, mostly paid by the VCs to help the startup they've invested into. And I've also been involved in many kind of business division creating or trying to help foreign companies come to the Japanese market, etc. So I'm really like the early phase startup facilitator in many different kind of things. And based on that experience, I've been involved in a big project named the EDGEof, which is a building in the middle of Tokyo. Maybe for those who know about Tokyo, it's in the town named Shibuya. It's a 8-story building with many different features like event space, co-working, creative lab, kitchen lounge, rooftop bars, and those kind of different things to have people coming in, interact, starting new projects, etc. And we opened in 2018, and in 2 years we've received about 15,000 people, and was a very, very big hub of international startups and the Japanese startup ecosystem. And we used to have a lot of exchange with many different communities all around the world. We are partnered with La French Tech. By the way, I'm French and Japanese mixed. And so we had other official partnership with government entities, but also had network with many, many, many different communities all around the world. And also by doing this activity, we were receiving quite a lot of guests, like the king and queen from Sweden, the prince from Netherlands, different ministers around the world. And really, the idea was to create this hub of innovators, not only startups, but artists, researchers, the media, etc. But unfortunately, because of the COVID, the building is now closed because it doesn't make any sense to have an empty 8th-floor building. So we have now all the activities online. And so that's my basic background. And today, I'm also helping Shibuya City, which is one of the 23 districts of Tokyo. And I'm the advisor of all startup strategy there. And I'm helping them to become the next place to be for foreign startups. And again, this is very much a community activity where we are organizing different projects with corporations. So I will finish sharing my screen because sorry, I don't have any presentation for tonight. But just want to make sure if people know how to use Zoom, like, could everyone make a sum up like this? to see if you all know how to. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, great. Okay. So at least 3 people are listening to me. Well, great. All right. Okay, thank you. So I would presume that people are either not listening or don't know how to use the feature, but I would like to use this to ask questions or have some feedbacks because everyone apparently a bit shy to have their face on the screen. So I've been doing a lot of mentoring for early stage startups or doing like incubation programs or doing seminars at universities, etc., talking entrepreneurship to want to become entrepreneurs. My first question: those who already have experience as an entrepreneur before joining the 42 community, please raise your hand or show me the icon. All right. A bit. Okay, probably no one. Okay, great. So everyone is a beginner here tonight. So I will consider that no one really has this nightmare-ish experience to be an entrepreneur yet. All right. So one thing that I really believe, which is super, super important as an entrepreneur, is that you really have to be aware that you can't do everything. Like, be sure that you won't try to do everything on your own. This is the importance of having a team. I assume that the hackathon, the first thing was to create a team, right? And this is because alone you can do anything. But at the early phase of a startup, you don't have the money to pay people. And this is why, especially at the early phase of an entrepreneur, it's especially very important to be part of a community, which is all about helping each other. And by doing that, you will be able to find help or find support or find clues to find your way. So that's really the basic. Maybe I can even stop here tonight because this is the reason why it's super important to be part of a community. And I think that those here tonight is aware of it, but sometimes I see people who want to become entrepreneurs who believe that they would be able to do everything and they are Superman, right? Elon Musk seems to be someone who might be able to do everything, but he's not, right? A very role of a CEO is to make decisions. It's not about coding yourself everything or do the whole financial stuff. It's really about making decisions and go meet investors to get some money. But you really have to be able to spare time to do the core of a CEO role. And to do that, it's very important to have a network of people that you can ask for help with if you need something. And so, is there a little interaction as a community here within the 42 entrepreneurs? Like, is there any? Yeah, I've heard that you are all using Discord already. So I imagine that there's a lot of interaction there. It's a very nice thing to start. And can anyone type in the name of a community they know or they are part of it that are connecting entrepreneurs? Something else than the 42 entrepreneurs. No? Or maybe, for example, in France, there's a quite famous one named The Family. Not sure if anyone, all right, Freemasonry, all right. Okay. A Thursday gathering is the venture cafe one, I suppose. Yeah, so if people are not part of other communities outside of 42, you really should try to find good ones around you. Fortunately, the COVID is not helping the situation to, go meet people, but it's really, really super important to have a network because the more you will continue and you will start to have your own company and start the fundraising phase, you will see that the network is going to be your primary asset. People would ask who you are connected with. Well, Station F, I'm not sure if it's a community though. Maybe it has changed, but at the time it's been made, there is a very, very difficult to get in. I'm not sure if it's still the same thing, but there are many open network, open communities, right? You should search on Facebook, and it's very important to, be part of it and show your value. So for example, the network I was creating, I was trying to show myself as someone who can help foreign startups come to the Japanese market, for example. So if you are like, I don't know, you have some kind of special knowledge about AI, or could be out of programming, if you have any experiences in marketing or design, right? Don't be shy. It's very important. Don't be shy. That if you want to become an entrepreneur, you really have to be able to express yourself. And the more people will know you, then you will have a better presence within the network, and people will come to you, right? And also, let's say that you are making a product and you want to have like feedbacks from test users. Without having any community, then it's going to be very difficult to find those people, because maybe people can steal your idea, so it's really like that kind of thing. It's extremely helpful when you are part of a community. And the other point is, Jade also mentioned at at the beginning of the presentation, it's very important to think global from the very beginning. Um, how many Japanese we have here? I see at least 2 Japanese names. Okay. So unfortunately, many startups in Japan thinks very domestic. Like they first try to succeed in Japan, and then we'll try other countries after that. But unfortunately, most of the time at the time you succeed in Japan, it's already too late. I personally don't really know any startups who really succeeded after becoming big in Japan. Even Mercari, right? They're really suffering to go to the US. And the reason why is because they've optimized too much to their own country. And the Japanese users are very special and unique. So if you adapt to optimize too much to Japanese users, it's going to be very difficult to go outside, right? And I see some Korean name here tonight. So Korea, it's a very nice country in the sense that most of Korean startups that at least I know of are thinking global from the very beginning. And the big difference is that as a programmer, you probably can understand that if you develop a certain version which is too optimized to your own country, you don't want to create new versions to go outside, right? You want to maybe localizing the stuff, but not changing too much the source code. But you will see that if you don't start global from the very beginning, then it's going to become very difficult to adapt your product to be globally accepted. And so be aware of it, especially if you want to discuss with investors. They'll ask you about your go-to outside market too. But again, for those who are here from Japan, Japanese VCs tend to push you more to go IPO in Japan instead of going outside. So it's a bit different. But in most of European countries, at least, you will have to think about going outside of your own country, right? So think global from the beginning. And then to do that, you will have to be part of a community like the one tonight. Like I see Russian, I see Korean, I see Japanese. Some of the names, I have no idea where they're from, but it's really a very important thing to be able to have those people from all around the world ask their opinion about the service you are developing, and this for free. And this is because you are part of a community. And again, if you want to, it has to be give and take, not take and give and take. So you will be able, make sure that you can give things so that you can take it too, right? So I don't want to talk too much. I prefer to answer questions if there are any, but this is one thing it's very important to remember is like, if you try to take first and thinking that, yeah, well, I will give back later in the future, it's very difficult actually. So please think about what you can provide for the community so that you will be accepted and you will, and then the more you give, the more you will be able to get. But that's based my experience. Okay, so if there's any questions or anything, suggestion of what they would like to hear about, yeah, why not? Even if you're a beginner, why not? Like, it could be anything, you know. I'm not sure how I can pronounce your name, but Aslan, right? So, all right, so Aslan. So maybe you think that you don't have anything to offer, but you at least have some time, right? You can help doing some research. Or I'm not sure if you speak any other language than English, but maybe you can support doing some translation, or there's anything you could do. So it's about to show that you are ready to help other people. And this is the kind of people who, once they will need something, the others will come to help you out. And this is what about a good community is, where you have people who are ready to help the others. And there are some, I'm sorry to say, the early phase of cryptocurrency stuff, we used to have a kind of community where it's all about money, money, money. And people were just there to try to convince others to put their money into their own crypto. That was a kind of weird moment of the startup history, but it didn't work out well. Right? Most of the cryptocurrency communities which existed at the beginning, it's either they disappeared or they got some kind of big issues. And that's really because the mindset of people were not about helping each other, you know? So that's also one thing. So don't be shy. Don't think that you are not experienced or not skilled enough. There's always something you can do. No, it doesn't have to be like hard skills, So sorry if I made some misunderstanding, but it's good if you have some kind of designing skill or a coding skill, for sure. But it's more about the attitude. It's very important to show that not sure if what I will exactly be able to do, but I'm ready to help out. So that's one very important thing. And this is how you will meet people. And the more you meet, the more you're connected, you will be able to get access to the people you want to meet, right? And those things you will really feel it when you will start fundraising. That's the moment you will meet a lot of connection. Is anyone here has ever experienced some fundraising? Not at that stage yet. Yeah. So unless you have once in a century kind of crazy great idea, you have to meet 20, maybe 50 investors before someone will put the money into your company, especially at the early phase. So you will need to meet a lot. And this is why you need to know a lot of people. And it's very difficult to go if you think that you will be able to find everyone on your own. It's really, you will need introductions. Yeah, and to do that, you have to be part of a community. So that Lily, I very strongly suggest you guys to search about the different communities that you have. So at least in France, For those who are here in France, anyone knows about the family? No? Yeah, so the family, well, at least 2, 3 years ago, yeah, went very good. Go to their website. It, probably one of the longest landing page of the whole startup scene. It's a very, very, very unique community, but it's all about helping each others. And they're very nice people there who can help entrepreneurs. So the family is, I think, one of a very nice community there. Or if you are a hardware startup, the hardware club, it's also a very nice community. And Station F, it has changed. Maybe now it's a good community. Yeah, so and in Japan, the Venture Cafe is for sure a good ones. But again, it's not because it's COVID that the activity is dead. There's a lot of ongoing things online. So don't think that it's a waste of time. It's extremely important to be part of a network. Oh, good question. Thank you. So the method to be connected to different communities, right? Have you continued to network through COVID? Okay. So for the first question, I think there isn't any secret. It's like you go, well, before COVID, it was about go there, be part of events. Again, don't be shy. Try to talk to people. And there isn't any other thing. So if it's an online thing, there'll probably be Facebook pages or open Slack or maybe Discord or even Clubhouse now. All those kind of social network that allow people to participate to your community. So you go there, don't be shy. So that's very important. And to keep the network, one thing I've realized is that doing 20 one-on-one meetings was much more than one shot, 1 to 20 people meeting. So since the COVID, I'm having like 8, 9 meetings almost per day, like trying to meet a lot of people and to make sure that I keep this network. And after different experiments, I realized that really you have to have a one-on-one meeting. And that's probably true even if you're new face in the community. Try to find people, the key player of the community, try to create an opportunity to have a one-on-one discussion with them. All right, so I think it's probably time for the next speaker or something. I've been told it was till 8:30. Yeah. Okay, so if there isn't any other questions.
Yeah, are there any other questions from anyone? If there's not any other questions, I do want to link the website for EDGEof if you're curious about what's going on with EDGEof, and maybe if you're curious about coming to Tokyo or starting your startup, getting connected with Tokyo or something like that. But I think that's all for me if no one else had any questions.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much again, Alex, for joining us.